What is meant by the doctrine of privity of a contract? Privity needs to be adequate and consideration can be sufficient. Only an original party to a contract may sue or be sued. Contracts are a private law between parties, or only people who sign documents can sue. Somebody's making money from this music somewhere. Four, we're all in. So, basically, yes. The doctrine itself is that only an original party to the contract may sue or be sued. That original is a particularly important word there because it impacts what happens, particularly when you've got long-term ongoing contracts that relate to a business and when the business is bought or sold. So I'm not actually surprised that the contracts are a private law between parties came up because it's a true statement and it would be really easy to think that that's what privity is about, just if you're unfamiliar with the language. So again, this is just a technical language type thing. All right, oh, that team tie, they're right up there. You guys just know how to do this. General common law rule, a contract between A and B cannot impose obligations on C. Is this true, false, or depends on the facts? Oh, it's got ominous music this time. It is true. As a general common law rule. So that would be the giveaway in relation to that. There may well be facts that mean that there's an exception to the rule, but the rule is that unless you are a party to the contract, you can't sue or be sued on it. Oh gosh, how about I just do this? As a general common law rule, a contract between A and B for the benefit of C cannot be enforced by C. True, false, or depends on the facts. Wouldn't it be good if we could do this in an exam? With the music. Okay, again, general rule, a contract between Jack and Jill for the benefit of Humpty Dumpty cannot be enforced by Humpty Dumpty. So again, let's just, because it's almost 8:15, and I know if you need to leave, just desert your team. They will hassle you later. But just so what does Humpty Dumpty do in that situation? What can Humpty Dumpty do in a situation where Jack and Jill have entered into a contract, they're carrying that bucket of water they've agreed something in relation to the bucket of water, they're taking it to the wall. If it doesn't get there, poor old Humpty Dumpty is going to suffer a terrible consequential loss, a fall. He falls, he's got all of those damages. What can he do? He can't sue under the contract. Kahoot says it's true, so it must be true. So what can Humpty Dumpty do in that situation? Let's say Jack has breached the contract, Jill has entered into its benefit for them. What can he do? Whose land was it on? I'm just going to give you, I'll say it was the good King Wenceslas's land. Okay, so how does the doctrine work? Jack has promised to supply the water. Jill is the party to the contract, has entered into it for the benefit of Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty has suffered a great fall as a consequence of Jack's failure to deliver that water. Jill can sue. Jill can sue for the benefit of her. Now, Jill has probably no loss as a consequence, but Jill can bring the suit, the loss pushes out. So that's one, absolutely. Easy peasy, see? This is not hard. It's not hard.
It is at this time of night.
Yeah, it is. For me too. Let's do a couple more if we can. What rights does a third party have to enforce contracts made for their benefit at common law, sorry? Statutes prohibit strangers to contracts from suing on them. Statutes in WA, Queensland and the Northern Territory provide for, that's for as in FOR, couldn't fit it in, specific performance. A third party, a stranger to the contract, has no rights to sue, and a benefactor can bring a personal action to obtain an order. It's even really ominous, sort of like Darth Vader music now. I'm not choosing the music. I wish I could. Okay, think about it. Come on, you know the logic actually. You know the logic here. We've just spoken about it. A third party has no rights to sue. Okay, well, this is just the same question in a different way. All right? I think we're losing it here. I think we might come back to this next week, I think, because I think we've just kind of got there. But look, at the end of the day, read the stuff about privity. It's actually not that difficult. It has some tricky little bits in it, but the principle, what's really important with principle is that you understand the concept, and you do already understand it, I know, that contracts create a private law between the parties. That means it's only the parties to the contract that can enforce that private law. That's that link with privity. So we either need to have a party to the contract to enforce it, or we need an exception to the rule. So we'll continue on with some questions about the exceptions next time, because next time we are back to one topic. There are once again desk lectures for next week. What I want to do once we've finished this next week is I want to spend a little bit of time putting the whole next 3 topics together. So I think, where are we? We're at week, so weeks 9, 10 and 11, we're really looking at how to read a contract. Well, how we work out what's in a contract, what the terms of a contract are. So I want to spend some time with the overview, get our heads around how express terms, implied terms and disclaimers in particular work, how we're reading that stuff, because I am going to move around those 3 topics all over the place a little bit, because I think there is a more logical way to get to understand it. Have a fabulous week. Ask me if you have questions. Continue being awesome. And those people who needed to speak to me, I do remember I'm not going anywhere.